Let's go to Mark.
Starting right over on the far side of the course, returning back towards home by the lower turn, which means the run-in is 3.5 furlongs. Sean Levy on Monte Silvano, the last of 7 in line for the Bonhams Thoroughbred Stakes. They're in the gate, and they're off. So a mile ahead of them, Knight a little slow to go. Also Docklands not that fast into stride, and Ryan Moore will allow the odds-on favourite Nostrum to stride on. Leads by around about a length and a half. Epictetus is towards the near side rail. Out a little bit wider is Bold Discovery. Then Galeron racing in 4th position. Monte Silvano is in 5th. Knight is last but one, and the back marker, Hayley Turner aboard Docklands, racing at the moment around about 6 lengths off the leader, who is Nostrum, as they now begin to make this long sweeping downhill turn, which will bring them back towards home. Nostrum being held together on the downhill run by Ryan Moore, leads by a length and a half to Bold Discovery in 2nd. Epictetus against the inside rail is in 3rd. Galeron in 4th position. Then in 5th is Monte Silvano, followed by the slow starting Knight and also the slow starting Docklands at the back of the field. They've gone through halfway, down now towards the final 3 furlongs of the Bonhams Thoroughbred Stakes, and it's still Nostrum who leads the way and still travelling powerfully. In his slipstream is Epictetus. Towards his outside is Bold Discovery. Bold Discovery now ridden along in 2nd. Epictetus will need a bit of luck in running. Towards the outside, Knight now begins to throw down his challenge. Galeron, and then Docklands out very wide. A furlong and a half to go. Nostrum runs the rail and still has the lead. Epictetus now has clear sailing to try and challenge. They're racing down towards the final half furlong. It's Moore versus Dettori. Epictetus now edges clear, and it's Epictetus to give Frankie Dettori a record 7th win in the Bonhams Thoroughbred Stakes. Epictetus wins, and he takes the scalp of Nostrum in 2nd. And what a return to form for Epictetus, who was an epic failure at Royal Ascot, but at 6-1 he's weighted Frankie. They always say you've got to wait for the gaps to open at Goodwood. He didn't panic. He got daylight with about a furlong and a quarter to go. He's beaten Nostrum in 2nd, Galeron in 3rd, and in 4th was Knight. We'll see in the end. Frankie's won just a shade cosily as Epictetus records his 3rd career success. He's won by a length and a quarter from Nostrum in 2nd. But the numbers count. For the Gosdens, a 4th win in the race. But for Frankie, a record 7th win in the Thoroughbred.
And you talk about Frankie having to wait there, Mark. Well, the Gosdens have had to wait this week, Jason. They've thrown so much at the Qatar Goodwood Festival. Now, in the colours of George Strawbridge, in this key moment in the race, they've struck.
Yeah, I'm chuffed for the team, because they managed to keep a lot of the races alive with the likes of an Emily Upjohn and In Spiral, Courage Mon Ami. They've thrown a few horses in there to be competitive. Maybe we're still learning about this lad. He looked to have a good career when he was 2nd, wasn't he, in the back end, up behind August Road and in the Burton. But it hasn't quite happened for him this year. It's a big drop in grade.
Yeah, he was going in the right direction, wasn't he? That 2nd in the Vertum, and then he started this year with a win in the Epsom Derby trial, but kind of lost his way in between and didn't have him as the winner on paper, I've got to admit, but a Frankie Dettori win is always popular. Matt?
It certainly is. You really get the feel of that from the crowd when Frankie comes in. Frankie, have we finally found the right trip for this horse?
Yeah. Yes, we tried. Well, we thought mile last year was no problem, so we thought maybe as a free road we tried to stretch him, but we tried a couple of times, didn't work out. John and Fady decided to drop him back to a mile, and it worked.
And it was a taking performance, because for a lot of that race it looked like Ryan Moore was just riding a piece of work on Nostrum, so to pick him up really has to be marked up.
Yes, obviously once they got the gap, then it was up to him to do the rest. Ryan wasn't stopping, so he showed a good turn of foot. Now we got the distance right, we can concentrate for the mile races.
I mean, he likes a bit of juice in the ground. I guess those Group 1 mile races in France are where you might have to head. Yeah,
obviously it's the celebration mile here in 3 weeks' time. That could be a possibility. And then we'll see the Open. We know you're under soft ground, and like I said, now that we got the trip right, we can go to work on those kind of races.
QE2 maybe at the end of the season. Finally, Frankie, you've got free wind in these colours tomorrow. You'd have great hopes of winning the Lily Langtree.
Yeah, listen, we took it on the boys at Ascot. The ground was pretty fast for her. She stays a mile and 6. She won the Park Hill. You know, she'd be a worthy favourite. I know she's giving a bit of weight away, but she's tough, you know. She's in respect to the big run.
Glorious Goodwood, a track you'll miss?
Yes, I've had a lot of success. And I had my first winner here in 87, so many moons ago. Yeah, it's been a good hunting ground for me. I'm going to miss it, but I've enjoyed this next 2 days.
Not as much as we're going to miss you. Frankie Dettori, too good.
That was his first winner at Goodwood. His first winner in this race, the Bonham Thoroughbred Stakes, was actually 1995. 6 more since then for the Gosdens. John actually won this in 1990 with Talia and wins it for a 4th time this afternoon. Jason, what happened to the favourite?
Well, after Ryan asked him to go forward, he was dominant that he